Right, before this video starts, I am doing this because of Krog. He explained it in 10 minutes, and I'm going to be pretty much reacting to it and learning. So, massive shout out to him, and his YouTube channel will be linked in the description. So, be sure to go check him out. Okay, now let's look into this. I'm editing this in my bed, and I just realized how chopped I am. So I'm not happy right now.
FNAF lore in 10 minutes, ready, go. A guy named William moves from England to a small town called Hurricane with his wife and 3 kids. It's in this small town that he meets a fella named Henry, who has his own kids, and Henry and William become good friends. They decide on a business venture to open up a family diner that sold cake, and with the main attraction being these 2 animatronic suits that can either be an animatronic or can spring lock into suits that humans can wear. Keep that in mind, it'll be important later. Henry wore the Freddy suit, and William wears the Bonnie suit. Fellas, business is booming for Fazbear's Family Diner, so much so that they open up another branch called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where he creates 4 new animatronics: Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, and Foxy. But what we don't know about William Afton is that he's a crazed lunatic, an absolute psychopath. It is for this reason that it's assumed that Henry created an animatronic called the Puppet to protect his daughter Charlie from danger. One day in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Henry's daughter Charlie gets locked outside of the pizzeria. However, the puppet can't save Charlie as it's stuck in a box, and as William pulls into the driveway, he ends up murdering Charlie and dragging her into an alley. Once the puppet finally gets out of the box, it goes outside to protect Charlie, only to find her dead. What happens next is that Charlie's spirit inhabits the puppet, so it's now possessed by Charlie's spirit, and Henry lost his only child. Now, while all of this is going on, let's focus on William Afton's family. He has 2 sons and a daughter, but right now let's focus on the boys. The small one is Evan, and the older is Mike. Evan is scared of the animatronics, and Mike sees this as a wonderful opportunity to prank Evan. On Evan's birthday party, Mike, the older brother, decides to put Evan near the mouth of an animatronic version of Freddy to give him a big kiss. What happened instead is that the spring locks on the suit fail due to the moisture of the tears, which ends up causing the animatronic to bite down on
That's the bite of 87.
William's kid like a Big Mac, killing him, thus marking the bite of 83. The death of his youngest son was enough to spiral William Afton's mind into even more chaos and psychotic behavior. He ends up luring 5 children into the safe room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza dressed up as Spring Bonnie, from which he then kills them. But where would he hide the body, you may ask? Well, when Afton was designing the 4 new suits, he made a compartment specifically designed to fit children inside of the animatronics, and because of this, no one was able to find any evidence. The puppet, witnessing all of this, decides to assist the children, but there's 5 children and 4 suits. Where would the extra child go? Well, the extra child was stuffed into the Golden Fredbear costume, so now we have 6 kids that have their souls stuck in animatronics. Shortly after, Afton ends up getting fired from his own company, and the restaurant is closed down due to health violations. However, William Afton didn't stop there. After the closure of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, he decides to make a new company called Afton Robotics and creates a new location specifically designed to murder children. But why, you may ask? Well, when Afton was murdering the 5 children, he discovered a way to become immortal, introducing Remnant. When the kids die, they release this material called Remnant, which bonds your soul onto something. This is basically how the missing children and Charlie were able to possess the spirits of animatronics. He uses this information specifically to create Circus Baby, who is able to lure children in with games and then crush them inside of her stomach. So now we know that William's youngest child is dead, and his eldest is doing something not really important right now, but maybe later. Anyway, Elizabeth, Afton's daughter, is here at this private party to unveil the new location in the franchise, until Elizabeth gets a little too close to Baby, and yeah, she gets folded like a lawn chair. Anyway, because of this incident, the Circus Baby Pizza World was shut down due to a gas leak. But rest assured, he still kept the animatronics open for rental. For what reason? Well, you remember this guy, right? Afton's only son? William, being the wonderful father he is, he sent his son to locate and free the soul of Elizabeth, who is trapped inside of Circus Baby. So now let's shift to the new star of the show, Michael Afton, who survives the first 4 nights pretty well, until around the 4th night, where technicians are instructed to scoop out the shells of the animatronics and take the salvageable endoskeletons. This scooping machine also has some remnant.
I just realized I keep looking behind me because I feel like Freddy Fazbear is going to creep up behind me and jump scare me.
I wonder why.
Once again, editing this, and as soon as I said my statement, the guy in the video says, I wonder why.
Soon enough, all of the animatronics get scooped, but they all combine their parts of their endoskeleton into some weird megazord known as Ennard. On the final night, our man Michael ends up finding himself in this godforsaken scooping machine, and it turns out Baby's true intentions were to scoop the living hell out of Michael's organs and make some room for Ennard to chill in there, like some fucked up hermit crab. Needless to say, our boy Michael gets scooped like he's one of those strawberry sherbet ice creams, and all that remnant keeps his soul alive, whilst Ennard makes his way inside of the corpse to escape the complex. Wait, wrong game. Eventually, we realize that Michael's body slowly ends up deteriorating due to him being basically a walking corpse. A few days later, Ennard ends up escaping into a sewer system, and just when you think our boy is dead, he gets reanimated back to life. Now that Michael has freed Elizabeth, his new goal is to find William Afton. Fast forward a bit, Michael isn't able to find his father, but while all of this is happening, William decides to go to the original abandoned location to dismantle all of the old animatronics. William ends up snapping those fools like Lego bricks, but unbeknownst to William, he just awoken the spirits in a physical form. The spirits all gather up and confront William. However, in this safe room lies the very suit that William Afton used to kill these children. In an attempt to, scare them, he puts on the suit and laughs mockingly. It was all fine and dandy until those spring locks on the suit got a little too loose, and yeah, William ended up getting crushed and mutilated, causing a very ironic death. His corpse just laid there for a while until some fools decided to reopen the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise as a horror attraction. They found the suit and thought, hey, this bloody animatronic suit seems to be perfect to put inside of a horror attraction for kids. When they do this, William decides to become alive again and stalks this area for a week. I say a week because after 1 week passed, the building was set on fire. The reason being unknown, but all that you need to know is that Springtrap, or William, is still alive despite the fire. It's possible it could have been Michael to set the fire in an attempt to try and kill William Afton, but we don't know. However, he didn't escape without significant damage, as now he has to repair himself a little bit. Well, Baby was ejected from this and ends up having to piece herself together into Scrap Baby, while the rest of Ennard dons a Freddy mask to become Molten Freddy. We've discussed a lot of characters this video, but there's one that I haven't talked about in too much detail. That would be Henry, William Afton's friend, whose daughter became the puppet. In all of this grief, Henry steps in to finally devise a plan to end it all. He opens up a new pizzeria under the Freddy's franchise to gain the attention of the roaming animatronics, including Michael Afton, who still wants to find William Afton. Mike ends up getting the security job, and remember, he still looks like his father here. Henry creates an animatronic to capture his daughter. The animatronic is called Lefty, and little by little, Mike collects every single one of the animatronics into one facility, all according to Henry's plan. And on the final night, we finally get to hear Henry. He has this awesome speech that my words couldn't do justice, so by all means check it out on your own. However, Henry's plan was to gather all the animatronics to one place. There was a way for him to get out, but he feels that Mike might want to die here. Henry commits arson to the building, killing all of the animatronics ever, including Mike, himself, and of course, William Afton, where his soul is presumably forever tortured by all of the animatronics.
There you have it, and once again, shout out to my good bro Krog. Once again, his YouTube will be in the description, and if you want to go check out his videos, then go check them out. But yeah, very interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.